It's the Thanksgiving special, episode number 176. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ecom Dispensary, Knowledge Out number 43. As the time this has been released, Thanksgiving is now over. We are now well into Black Saturday as the time this is being released. Hopefully, depending on my travel schedule, as long as there's no issues with my flight, this should be released on Saturday. Thanksgiving was Thursday. Obviously, not all of you guys celebrate Thanksgiving. It's a very American holiday. But with this, this time of the year, the entire point of Thanksgiving, besides just cooking and eating an absurd amount of food, is to give thanks to, the things that we're grateful for in our life. And, originally give thanks to the founders of this great country, which these days is a bit more frowned upon than it used to be. But regardless, we wanted to take a little bit of time. Yeah. Well, it was originally like the meeting of like the Pilgrims and the Indians and them coming together and sharing a meal. I think is kind of what that was originally inspired by.
Gotcha. Some history lesson with the Ecom Dispensary.
Yeah, and the Pilgrims gave the Indians diseases and then they all died, very sadly.
They should have got their vax on, baby.
If only.
I actually told him.
He tried to tell him. He did try to tell him. All right. Well, all that aside, we just wanted to take a little bit of time this episode to do something that honestly I haven't been doing as much as I probably should have recently. Inspired by our old business partner, the ecom shark Amin, who every time that we would get on a call, he would not let us leave the call without telling him one thing that we were grateful for. And I think that was a really great practice. It was just I always look forward to that part of the call because the Amin was just, he's such like a happy-go-lucky dude. He just always has a great attitude. And, it's a great practice, to just think about something that you're grateful for. Again, I don't think me and Scotty do this probably as much as we should. But if we were going to do it, if any time was the right time to do it, I think now is the right time. So we wanted to just give thanks, list off a few things that we're grateful for, hopefully inspire you guys to take a few minutes today to think about some things that you're grateful for, because there's really not a whole lot of downside to being grateful for the things that you have in life, regardless of, how terrible your current life situation might be. You always have something to be grateful for. So Scotty, let's start with you, man. What are you grateful for today?
Yeah, before I get into that, I wanted to sort of have an extra point where I used to get I was always kind of taken off guard by this because I always forget that he doesn't. And I think Europeans we don't have Thanksgiving, so we're not as used to doing this. Like the only time I've come across this in Europe was like if you're over for dinner, I guess, in a religious family or like in a religious setting or something, you'd thank God for whatever. But we don't otherwise do this, I don't think. At least I never did. So it always kind of caught me off guard, but I think it's a great thing to do. I think it's a nice ritual for Thanksgiving, and I think it's a good thing to incorporate into your life, where I do it sometimes, like not regularly, but I do it sometimes when I lay down in bed at night and just like, usually when I'm fucking absolutely exhausted from work, training, travel, whatever, and you just lay down exhausted and you're like, think about what you're grateful for in life, and it just makes you feel good and appreciative for life. Whereas I think us as humans are generally inclined or prone to think about the bad, what we're trying to change, which is great, which is probably why we invented fire, because we were fucking sick of being cold and eating raw food. So it's why humans live in skyscrapers and other animals don't. But it doesn't necessarily optimize for happiness. It optimizes for progress, not happiness. And I think you want to have a mix of both. So sometimes just thinking about what you're grateful for, listing off some things, is a good thing to do, especially for my European brothers listening who maybe don't have this as a ritualistic part of their society. I'd highly recommend doing it sometimes. So to start off, I think one of the things I'm probably most grateful for right now is knowing so many interesting, unique, quirky dudes that are doing super cool shit. just knowing a lot of really cool people. And really, I mean, it comes back down to the internet. Like the internet has given me so much. The internet has been absolutely life-changing for me. It has allowed me to connect with incredible people. It has allowed me to learn incredible things. It has allowed me to teach myself a lot of things just that would not have been possible, or would have been a million times harder if I was born, call it 20 years earlier. I wouldn't know Schmitty if I was born 20 years earlier. I wouldn't be able to travel around the world like I do, having cool, interesting people in my life the way I do. And I really think that's part of what makes life interesting. For me, I've never liked hanging around with the same people every day, playing video games, hanging out with your same friends. It just has never seemed that interesting to me. And being able to meet people from all over the world that are doing super cool shit is just an incredible experience in life that I'm super grateful for.
That's a great one, dude. That is a great one. I agree. I've been reminded of that. I'm reminded of that every time that, we go on a trip with, you, me, and the rest of our, really Twitter homies. Like, just we all get together. We all do kind of different stuff, but we all get together and we get to kind of share what we're doing and, learn different things and spend time with dudes who are just doing cool stuff, man. It's an amazing time.
Yes, sir. That it is. That it is.
I would say the first thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking about what I'm grateful for is, honestly, the stuff that you have here, Scotty, that you just said, like, I agree with that 100%. Like, I relate to that. I relate to that a lot. But for me specifically, I'm really grateful for my parents and for the fact that for a portion of my childhood, both of my parents were business owners. They both own their own businesses. That's not quite how it is anymore. But growing up, that was the default that I experienced. I grew up thinking that it was totally normal to own your own business, and that was always what I was going to do. There was never a time in my life where I thought I was going to get a job and work for someone. I always knew that I was going to start a business because that's just what my parents did. And I saw that the freedom that it afforded them, they could make their own schedules. They could take us on vacations whenever they wanted to. And just growing up in that environment, like I don't think that many people have that experience where starting a business is just the default to them. I feel like for a lot of people, starting a business seems like some huge, big, scary thing that they're not even sure is possible because they've never really been around someone who's done it. And just growing up around parents who both, not like, my parents weren't and aren't rich by any means. Like, they had modest incomes from their businesses, but knowing that it was possible to do that was, that's a huge reason that I'm even in business myself today. I don't think that if I hadn't grown up in that environment, I don't know if I ever would have gotten into business. So super thankful for that aspect. I mean, just for everything that my parents have done for me, just doing a great job raising me and just being there for me and always supporting me and all that. Very grateful for that. Also very grateful for like all my close friends and even more specifically, my close friends' families. I've been fortunate to grow up around people who I've, formed tight relationships with, not only them, but also their parents, their siblings, and just being able to do cool stuff like go on trips with them and spend time with them and do all that stuff that I, in a lot of ways, with my parents being split up now, like it's given me a lot of experiences, like in a family sense that I don't think I would have had otherwise. So I'm very grateful for that. And then also the internet. I'm grateful that one day when I was sitting on my couch at the fraternity house when I was still in college, that my buddy came up to me and was like, "Hey, I've been following this Twitter account called Wall Street Playboys. I think you'd like it. You should check it out." If he hadn't done that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now.
Shit, I'm grateful for Wall Street Playboys, the fucking OGs.
Shout out Wall Street Playboys, dude, for real. For real, for real. Not even sure if the people who run Bowtide Bowl now are the same people, but regardless, 20 2017 Wall Street Playboys. Life changing, man. Absolutely life changing.
Literally. One day, Schmitty, one day we're going to do something like that. Once we're a little older and a little richer, a little wiser.
I think so, man. I mean, I think I don't think that we've had nearly the reach that they have had, but I'd like to think that there are a few people out there who we introduced to this kind of thing that if they hadn't seen a random tweet from you or me or a YouTube video that popped up on their suggested from my YouTube channel, maybe they wouldn't have gotten into it. And, I'm just hoping that we can pay that forward to other people and just keep it going, man. Keep getting more people into this stuff. It's fucking life changing. I'm literally sitting here overlooking the most beautiful ocean in Mexico. Like, this would not be possible without finding all this crazy internet stuff. And I'm so lucky for that, man. So grateful.
Shit. I'm out here in a fucking skyscraper looking at a bunch of other skyscrapers. Look at us, Schmitty, traveling the world, doing cool shit.
100%, man. 100%. And I don't know. I just want to leave this off. Like, if you're in a situation where you're not quite where you want to be, I mean, I don't think me and Scotty are where we want to be personally. But we're working towards it. And, just know that whatever you want to achieve, as corny as it sounds, it's possible. It's 100% possible. No one thought that at least in my life, none of the people that I talked to about this stuff when I was first getting started, no one was like, yeah, you can definitely do that, Nate. That's a great idea. No one thought that. Everyone thought it was impossible. And here we are. So you have plenty of time to prove everyone wrong, maybe even prove yourself wrong, and become successful at whatever it is that you want to be successful at.
Yes, sir, Schmitty. That it is.
All right. Well, I think that'll about do it for the Thanksgiving special before I start tearing up here. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Also, I guess one final thing, also very grateful for you guys in the Ecom dispensary. You guys allow us to just get on here and shoot the shit every week. Me and Scotty enjoy the hell out of it. We get to make a little bit of money doing it. And, it's nothing crazy, but it allows us to take bigger swings with some of our other ventures. And we're really grateful for all of you guys who are a part of this.
That we are.
All right, y'all. Well, I know it's a little belated now, but happy Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. We hope you all are absolutely killing it. And we'll talk to you guys in Telegram. As always, let us know if you have any ideas, anything that you want us to talk about next week or in future episodes of the Ecom Dispensary. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Peace.